Hi, this is Chatterboxing. I'm Sean. It's a quick prediction video for the Vasyl Lomachenko Teofimo López fight for tomorrow night. Okay, well, for me, this is the best fight of the year so far. I mean, there's been some good ones, but this is the one that I've been looking forward to the most. This is the most interesting one, in my opinion. Vasyl Lomachenko, in my opinion, is the number one pound for pound fighter in the world right now. But he is fighting at least one, possibly two weight classes above where he really should be to be fighting at his best. And he's fighting someone who's young, who's big and strong. And he's young, obviously, so he's able to lose weight quickly, and he can, rehydrate to quite heavy. So there is going to be naturally like a big difference in terms of just physical strength. Also, Lopez he's got a good style. He's like explosive, he's quick, he can do fast counter punches. So, it's definitely a very dangerous opponent for Lomachenko. Because Lomachenko is obviously an offensive fighter. He's not someone who's, really trying not to get hit. He does come in, he's throwing loads of punches, he's coming forward. Yeah, he does have good defense, but, when you're attacking as much as he does, you're going to leave openings. So Lopez is going to be able to hit him at times. And as I say, he is from what we've seen so far, he's a power puncher, and he's explosive and quick, and he can jump into something very quickly. And with his counter punches, it's a dangerous style for Lomachenko, in my opinion. One thing I would say though is that it seems to me, and I'm sure loads of other people have obviously picked up on this as well, the closer we get to the fight, the less confidence I have in Teofimo López, and the less confidence he seems to transmit. Now, I watched the press conference, and look, sometimes these press conferences, they can just, for whatever reason, someone can look a bit nervous, and when it comes to it, it doesn't really mean much. But when you look at all the factors involved, to me, I think there's definitely at least a good chance that he's going to be mentally not really ready for this kind of challenge. Because when you fight someone like Lomachenko, it's just constant mental pressure. He's always showing you something. He's always attacking you, or he's always like feinting, or he's always threatening to do something. That there's no rest at all. So if you go in there and you're already a little bit nervous, this is the first big stage, proper big stage that he's been on, and you've got that happening all the time, you've already burnt up quite a bit of energy, you're swinging big punches, you're missing. His dad as well, to be honest, from what I've seen from him, he doesn't exactly seem like the kind of person I'd want in my corner, bearing in mind what I've just said. If I'm sort of gauging this correct, his dad seems to be a bit sort of hyped up, almost a bit, quite sort of immature himself from what I've seen, and not very experienced in this kind of stuff. So I can see him running out of steam quite quickly, just from the mental pressure, the way that Lomachenko fights, the way he is going into. I just see him being quite nervous. Now, obviously, I could be completely wrong, but that's what it's looked like. And this has been for a while. I mean, he was delaying signing the fight. Now, I don't really know the ins and outs of that. At the end of the day, he got a bit more money from it, so maybe it was just that. But I don't know, it did seem to me like he was a lot more keen on the idea of the fight when it wasn't really a reality. And as it's become a reality, he seemed to be less enthusiastic. That's just the impression that I get. In terms of the way the actual fight is going to go, I just think Lomachenko, for the first couple of rounds, he's going to be doing a lot of feinting, he's going to be changing the angles, he's going to be moving around quite a lot, and Lopez is going to be using up quite a lot of mental energy. I think he's going to swing quite a few, and I don't know, if he catches Lomachenko early on, then he's got quite a good chance of sort of growing in confidence and getting into a bit of a rhythm. But I don't know, I see Lomachenko, just the determination on the face as well. When you saw them both in the press conference, to me, it looked like, not to take the piss, but Teofimo López looked a little bit like he was at school and he was in trouble. Do you know what I mean? Just his face, like the way, because the way they sort of set it up, you got like the bloke in the middle is like a teacher, and it looked like you've basically got two kids who've had a bit of a punch up, and then the teacher is like there in the middle, and they're sort of giving their side. Lomachenko's looking at him like, as soon as we get outside the school gate, I'm going to fucking batter you. And he's just sort of looking a bit like, that's kind of what it looked like to me. So I don't know if that's just a stage. I don't know if that will change when they actually get in the ring. But I'll tell you what else it reminded me of a little bit. If you remember when David Haye fought Vladimir Klitschko, and it's a similar kind of dynamic in the sense that David Haye was really giving it the big one. You know, he's like chasing him up escalators in airports. He was making T-shirts like with ripping their heads. He was really giving it. But then when it came to the press conference before the fight, he just seemed to me there was something in his demeanour, something in his voice. He just didn't seem very confident. He seemed like, I kind of talked myself into a place where I don't really want to be. And that's the impression I'm getting from Teofimo López. So for him, he needs to really just kind of maintain his composure. Now, Lomachenko is obviously going to be very active, but I think he will be cautious. He knows that Teofimo López is young, strong, powerful, and dangerous. So I think he's not going to be reckless like we've seen him in some fights. So, you know, López just needs to really sort of keep his composure, not worry too much, and just try and, you know what I mean, maintain like his energy as well, not just go in there and just start like trying to take his head off. Now, he has shown to me like decent ring IQ. He's shown he's like naturally very skillful, but he is inexperienced, and it's obviously at a very low level compared to what he's in there with now. Now, I don't think he should be going in there with that style, the kind of Mayweather style, where he's trying to like counter punch behind the shoulder roll. I don't think that's going to really have much success. I think he's going to need to throw like threes and fours, try and rough him up a little bit as well. Obviously, he is bigger, physically stronger. Lomachenko's not, he can punch a little bit. He's not a feather dusterman, but he's not like a power puncher. López can definitely afford to get in there and take one to give one, or take two to give one, if that's what it needs to be. So yeah, but I don't know. As I say, there are things in his favour. Lomachenko's, I don't know how old he is now, but he's like mid-30s. He's fighting at a weight that really is not his best. So he's definitely putting it on the line. It's a very tough fight for him. But I don't know. I just think, all things considered, Lomachenko is just gonna be too much for him mentally, at the occasion. Now, the fact that there's no fans there, I don't really know who that benefits. Maybe both of them, maybe neither of them. Not really sure. It just changes the dynamic completely, doesn't it? Because if you're fighting, I don't know, this is just off the top of my head really, but if you're fighting someone like Lomachenko, his style, it's quite a sort of humiliating way to be fought against. Do you know what I mean? He's like basically just sort of slapping you about, dancing around, taking the piss out of you. So if you've got a load of people around like watching, cheering, I'm not sure that would make it worse. So that's an interesting dynamic as well, because Lomachenko presumably feeds off that. They both do, because obviously you see Teofimo López doing all these like somersaults and stuff like that, so he obviously likes the crowd as well. But potentially there'll be a bit less showboating and piss-taking from Lomachenko. So I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing for López. Because if he goes in there just really focused, just sort of eye of the tiger, I'm just going to do a job on you, mate, no messing about, then, you know, that could be worse. But at the same time, it could be better for López in terms, because if he is, like I was saying before, a little bit nervous, the occasion's a bit much, everyone in the crowd, like, almost like sort of jeering at him, then that could potentially, you know, accelerate the process of, you know, just burning out all that nervous energy. So, yeah, it's an interesting one. Looking forward to it. I reckon probably the referee's going to stop it. I don't know about I don't think López is going to quit. I can't see that. I think he's got, you know, too much pride, and I think he's just sort of big enough and powerful enough, and he's young enough. He's obviously got his whole career. I just can't see him doing that. If he was a bit older, you know, he's like, I can't really ask this anymore. But no, I don't see him doing that. I see. I don't really see his old man throwing in the towel, because he seems to be, I don't know, potentially like one of these sort of fathers who just kind of has their kid, they're just obsessed with them achieving something so they can kind of live through it. Do you know what I mean? I mean, I don't know him that well. I haven't sort of seen it enough to really say that's the case, but I definitely get that impression. I wouldn't be expecting him to throw the towel unless he's getting a real pasting. And if he is, then I just expect the ref to stop it before then. So that's what I think will happen. I reckon Lopez will get a bit exhausted, a bit frustrated. To me, he doesn't really seem mentally mature enough to deal with that kind of scenario. So that's what I think is probably going to happen. But as I say, wouldn't be surprised if Lopez fucking bangs him out, because Lomachenko does get hit and he is small. He's not exactly, you know what I mean, like the Carl Froch, is he? I mean, he can be like knocked out. And not that he has been knocked, but you know what I mean? He's been knocked down and he's not exactly like a big iron chin kind of fighter. So if someone like Lopez catches him, then yeah, definitely wouldn't be surprised. But my pick is Lomachenko by, I would say, sort of late TKO. The ref will just stop the fight. That's what I think is going to happen. But yeah, let me know what you lot think. Thank you very much for watching.